All right, what's going on, people? Welcome back to the O1 channel. How's it going? I have a stream literally around 8:15, 8:30, so I'm gonna have to be brief with this. And with my schedule, there is no way that I can make a video on this. So, estimated review time about 15, 20 minutes. Let's see if I can do it without doing spoilers. But you know me, I'm really bad at that. But I'm gonna try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. Just so everybody knows. The movie is 4 hours long, which I have talked about. I managed to get press access to it, which I probably would have gotten earlier, but I don't check my email very often. So anybody listening to this, please, for the love of God, email my business email because I very rarely check my personal email, okay? My PR guy will actually let me know if it's something important because I could have had this done on the 15th or the 16th. But you know what? Very thankful. Thank you very much. And let's get to this. So, long story short, the movie's good. I'm going to steal from one of my press friends who texted me. Pretty much he said that it was a spectacular graphic novel that was visual from start to finish. And that's exactly what it was. If you are a big fan of comic books and superheroes, you can't really go wrong with this movie. It's expertly made. It's probably one of Zack Snyder's best films of all time. If WB actually would have let Zack do his vision all those years ago, we would have been in for a treat of a very good movie. However, you wouldn't have... there's no way it would have gotten a PG-13 rating all those years ago because this is a very graphic film. I don't know if he did that on purpose for, like, later on or if that's what his vision was, but if you go back and you read his original storyboards and stuff like that, the fight with Steppenwolf, the Battle of Heroes, which happens in the movie, although they've expanded upon it so much more. There's a lot more to it than just Steppenwolf. I don't think that's really a spoiler, though, because you guys have seen the trailers and know that Darkseid is very present in the movie. I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but I just want people who are concerned about Darkseid having a smaller role in the movie. For a 4-hour film, I didn't really count it, but it felt like he has at least 30 minutes of scenes altogether. I think that's pretty good for not necessarily like a Thanos tease, that you got bits and pieces of Thanos over all the different MCU movies. Darkseid definitely has a presence in this movie, and when he is on screen, he is terrifying. I love his voice. I'm going to get the actor's name wrong because I have so much, not a lot of time. I think it's Ryan something, but he did a great job. I want to see more of him as Darkseid. I want them to utilize this version of Darkseid in the DC Cinematic Universe because you want to see more of him. Like, he is a terrifying creature of chaos, and this dude does not mess around. Ryan Porter, thank you, sweetie. I was close. I knew it was Ryan something. But, yeah, Darkseid, amazing in the film. Superman, not in it as much as people think. This is primarily a Justice League movie about, you know, the characters that aren't dead. Just like the original film. Except when Superman is around, the Superman fans are going to be very happy and they're going to want to trend, you know, Man of Steel 2, bring back Henry Cavill, all that other stuff. Though the rumors are that The Rock has been, you know, pounding down Henry Cavill's door to get him in both the Shazam movie and the Black Adam movie. Whether or not Henry does it, you know, the ball is in his court, so to speak. There are people at Warner Brothers that want him to continue being Superman, but Henry has to have them, you know, meet certain requirements. But there is offers, just so you know. And when you see the movie and the stuff that Superman is in it, nothing like what you got in the 2017 Justice League movie. There are high stakes in this movie, which I can't really spoil because I was surprised that they did that. It was pretty cool. I mean, I was right about some of the things that I told you guys, but I'm not going to tell you what I was right about because this isn't a spoiler-free thing. Or this is a spoiler-free thing. I was surprised that they went that direction with the Battle of Steppenwolf because, I mean, that was pretty cool. There is some elements of time travel in the movie, which I'm happy that they went about that. I like how they did it. I think it made sense how they, you know, pushed the Flash to go ahead and do that. It's not like he really had a choice, but I'm not going to tell you what that's about. That was pretty cool. The Deathstroke stuff, both modern or not modern, both present and Nightmare World Deathstroke are in the movie, and his scenes are actually really cool. They kind of did the Whedon thing in the movie with Lex and Deathstroke, but they changed it to the point where it's not cringy, and you want more of it. And you're just kind of like, whoa, okay, so that's why Deathstroke doesn't really like Batman. That's pretty cool, but it's like, what's gonna go on with that? And I'll tell you guys in my spoiler video, like in a few days. I wanted to do this as soon as possible just to get it out there, because if you wait too long, then the whole YouTube thing, it's all about views and getting your info out there before the movie releases, and I literally don't have that much time left, so I'm just trying to get my thoughts out there. I like the film. It dwarfs the 2017 movie in ways that you can't even believe. It's very well done. My biggest problem over the years that I've had with the original Justice League film is the story beats were all over the place. The tonal shift was very disorienting. Like, the first time I saw Justice League, I made a very glowing review because it was the first time we saw the Justice League on screen. I did like Danny Elfman's score. The more I kept seeing the Justice League film, the more I grew to have a disdain for it. The more I could literally sit there in the theater and be like, that's Zack, that's Josh, that's Zack, that's Josh. You don't get that, like, ping pong feeling watching this movie. I would say that the tone is very similar to BVS, and it's constant. It's not kind of like, a volleyball or ping pong match back and forth. Like, none of that. Most of the really lame jokes and things where, Flash falls on Wonder Woman, all that other stuff, you don't need to worry about that stuff. All of Whedon's existence from this movie is gone. But you're going to be surprised by some of the scenes you see because you thought that that was Whedon's reshoots. That was Zack's stuff. In terms of Zack's footage in the original 2017 movie and Whedon's, I would say it's about probably 26 to 28 minutes of footage that you guys have already seen. And the footage that you see again from the original Justice League movie is done in a way that makes it more exciting to watch this time. Wonder Woman's theme in this movie is epic. Like, they brought back the Hans Zimmer Wonder Woman theme, and they just, like, made it so hardcore. When she's fighting Steppenwolf with the music, oh, dang. I really like the score. I'm not usually a big fan of Junkie XL when it comes to his style of music. I like him better than Hans Zimmer, but he really kills it in this movie. Like, his score is... We were robbed so many years ago because it works. I like it. It really added to the scenes. It was fantastic. Speaking of scenes, the characters in this movie have so much depth to them. To say that the 2017 movie was a hatchet job is an understatement. I mean, that movie was just like a Frankenstein monster that was a mess. This movie, it, like, works. It all works. It's a long movie. It's like the scale of a Lord of the Rings film, but it's done in a way that it didn't feel very long at all. Like, I wasn't uncomfortable watching it on my phone last night at all. I enjoyed it. It felt like I was binging, like, a really awesome show, and it just kept going and going and going and going. And I'm going to watch it a second time tonight after I'm done with my conference calls with that new network I'm going to be joining. So I'll get to watch it again on my TV, but I'm not going to get to watch it with my surround sound because my neighbors would be pounding on my door. But I'm excited to watch it on the TV, and maybe they'll do something about the ratio of the film. It looks, I mean, it was made for an IMAX, so it's a little bit different than what you're used to, but you get over that, like, real quick. The movie will be coming out, according to info that I have. It should be dropping in May on, like, digital and Blu-ray and 4K and whatever. So if you actually want to own a copy of this and destroy your 2017 Justice League movie, it's coming to, a thing near you, like an actual way for you to buy it. It's going to be on HBO Max, like, as an exclusive for 2.5 months. So the 18th through, like, April something, and then the first or second week of May, it's supposed to be coming to DVD and Blu-ray. So people are, like, oh my gosh, I can't watch it because I don't have HBO Max. you'll have a chance to actually buy it and support it. And please do buy and support it so that we can get Zack Snyder to come back and make a Justice League Part 2. Because you're going to want a Justice League Part 2. Let's see. Cyborg is probably the heart of this movie, which is something that I said what the original vision of the film was going to be. So Zack really did put Ray Fisher on a high pedestal in this movie, but it's done in a way that doesn't feel like they just did it because of all the drama going on. Like, Ray is actually a fantastic actor. I wish he didn't, have the attitude and other things that he did because, I mean, the guy can act. The biggest problem that a lot of people had in the original movies, they said he felt very, like, wooden or robotic. You don't get that in this movie. Like, everything that happens with Cyborg has a purpose, and it is a clear, like, hero's journey that we didn't get with Superman. You can see that Cyborg was, like, very distanced with the team, and he didn't want to do stuff. And then over the progression of the film, you see him go from not wanting to be a part of them at all to going to his, heroic stance and everything that he does. And it was beautiful. It really was. So major props to Ray for that. Ezra Miller, I didn't hate in this film. I really didn't like the Flash at all in the original. I don't even call it original. In the Frankenstein movie, like, Ezra Miller was really good in this. I like this Flash a lot better. He's not as skittish. He is not really in full control of his powers yet. He doesn't really know what he's capable of doing. And then over the course of the film, Flash really steps it up. Sorry, guys. I got to get through this as quickly as possible because I have so many live streams later tonight. So I'm just trying to shoot this out here. No Q&A, anything like that. I liked Flash in this. Flash is not my favorite character in this movie, though. I really liked Batman stuff tremendously. And I can't get into as much of the Batman stuff as I want because it'd be very spoiler heavy. But Ben Affleck kills it in this movie. Like, you are going to see this film and you're going to want Ben Affleck to come back and do more Batman stuff. Like, it feels like his BVS Ultimate performance, but, like, even better. He is the leader of the Justice League in this. It's not like kind of like a byline, what Whedon was trying to do, like really push the Wonder Woman aspect of, her leadership abilities and other things in the league. It didn't feel like, you had two people vying for leadership. Like, Ben is the leader. Like, Ben is the person that's kind of like bringing this team together and doing his best to really honor Superman. Whereas before, it felt weird. Like, this was a guy that was responsible for Superman's death in a sense, kind of. And he didn't really feel as bad about it. He was like kind of moving on. There was like no mourning. This is a guy that feels really bad that Superman's dead in this movie. And that is something that they completely ignored in the Justice League 2017 movie. They don't do it in this one. He actually has remorse. He actually has a reason for what he's doing. He really wants to protect humanity and do anything he can, which is why, later on in Zack's vision that, Batman ends up sacrificing himself, which is something that they laid the groundwork for in this movie. So if they end up doing a miniseries on the Knightmare Earth or whatever, you can see, like, so many little story elements that would be expanded upon as this universe continues, if it ever does. I think that this is going to get a big splash, and most of the haters, like the critics, really didn't have a lot of bad things to say about this movie other than, like, nitpicks. They complain about, I can tell you what they say. They complain about the length of the movie. They say that it's a 3.5-hour film in a sense of magic boxes. They're not wrong. The mother boxes play a big role in this movie, more so than they ever did. They didn't have anything really bad to say about Darkseid at all. And, I mean, you can't. Darkseid, you want more of him. You really do. Steppenwolf, a lot better in this movie. Lot better. He feels like an actual movie villain, not so much like cardboard cutout comic book villain that we've gotten with a lot of superhero movies over the past 20 years. Like, he's really good in it. It's the same actor, but he has a purpose. He is, I don't know if I can get into it without spoilers, but he has a really big reason for doing what he does, and it's handled in a way that's just, it was incredible. I really liked Steppenwolf. I mean, The CGI was a little lame at some points because, I mean, you know, they rushed to get this out when they did. They could have maybe spent a little bit more time polishing the film, and maybe they will when the Blu-ray comes out in a couple months. But I liked his acting. I liked the fight between him and the Justice League was improved so much better. He is actually a threat now, and the Mother Boxes have a huge role in this movie that they didn't before. Like they just kind of felt like, you know, we're gonna use this to bring the Apocalypse invasion to Earth. There's a lot more to it than that. Like, these Mother Boxes are no joke now. They were just kind of a weird gimmick in the original movie. They are vital to Cyborg. They're vital to the Justice League. They're vital to Steppenwolf and Darkseid. Very important mechanic to the film, which is, you know, not something that was really prevalent at all in the 2017 movie. They were just kind of like a means to an end. I got to collect the Mother Boxes for something, or the Mother Boxes helped transform Cyborg into what he was. So, I mean, that was exciting. I can't talk about the other Justice League character, but you guys know who it is. I spoiled it already. Pretty much all the stuff that I was told and the stuff that I saw when I watched chapters 5 and 6 during the Tom and Jerry incident. Yeah, that's all the same. So that was cool. I wish that there was more of a certain character, but I will save that for my spoiler review in a couple days, because I do have some nitpicks with this movie involving that character and what he could have done during the course of the film. But that's neither here nor there. The long, you know, story to it, it was a great film. I really enjoyed it. I'm watching it again tonight. This is going to be my second viewing. And I am blown away. I really am. It is the best graphic novel that you will ever watch. Like, I would say that honor used to go to the Watchdogs, or not the Watchdogs, the Watchmen, sorry. And it just kind of blows the Watchmen away, even the director's edition. Like, this is a fantastic superhero epic. It's not a superhero film. This is an epic. This is Lord of the Rings style storytelling, character beats, everything. It just, it's a work of art. It is. I really liked it. That's all I can really say about it without getting into spoiler territory. I might have already gotten into some spoiler territory. Oh, Aquaman. Aquaman has a huge role in this movie too. And it's expanded so much. Like, not only did Flash and Cyborg have all their stuff like cut up from the original movie, but Aquaman had so much missing. There was so much more to why he doesn't like Atlanteans and all this stuff that would not make sense in connection to the Aquaman movie. So the reason why this movie isn't canon is because the Aquaman that we saw is kind of like the Whedon Aquaman, and he was really good in his Aquaman movie. This Aquaman really steps it up, and he does some pretty cool stuff in the movie, which I was surprised. I was like, whoa, they let him do that? No way. No way. Because it just felt like the battle with Steppenwolf. I'm not going to spoil it, but maybe you could tell by my voice. Aquaman does some pretty cool stuff that you're not expecting, and he did not do in the original. Like, Aquaman, it just kind of felt like Wonder Woman was the focal point of that fight, and everybody fights Steppenwolf in this one. Like, everybody does stuff. Everybody's doing stuff, which is important. The Lois and Superman stuff was really cute. I did like it. It's not quite as long, and let's see. I'm not going to spoil the cameos and the Easter eggs because those characters are really interesting, and I'll save that for the spoiler stuff. But yeah, at the end of the day, I loved it. At least the first time viewing. I was a little hazy though when I first watched it, and I wish I knew about it a few days ago. So apologies to my contact for neglecting that. Hopefully, you guys can get me some animated films, and please, by all means, go with our business email. It's located on our channel. I don't check my personal email that much, just for reasons. On my phone, it delays the messages by a few days. So if I got a message on the 15th, it won't show up as a new email on my phone until like 2 to 3 days later. So, yeah. Tony will forward me anything important. So that's what I would give people advice for, that are trying to, reach out to me as press or whatever. But yeah, I don't even have time to change the picture, guys. It was great. I liked it. Watching it again, I'll see if, the hype still remains the same after basically watching it again. But maybe the experience will be even better because I was pretty tired when I watched it. So I mean, this is coming from a dude who was like, I streamed for 6.5 hours yesterday, and then I watched the Snyder Cut for many hours, um, and I liked it. I did, I did. I didn't cry, but I felt good inside. It was like, this is what it should have been. This is great. We were robbed. We're robbed right now because Zack has a plan. And if Warner Brothers wouldn't question the plan originally, so many things would have happened. You have no idea. It was all ready. Yeah, it wasn't going to be like a shared universe the way that DC would have been, but it could have been a shared universe later. It could have been. Like, Zack could have told his 3-movie story, and then you could have all these other characters pop up and continue it, or, do flashback films, or whatever they wanted to do. I know that at the end of the Justice League story, not this movie, so don't worry about this isn't a spoiler, but at the end of Zack's vision, it was supposed to fast forward 20 years after the defeat of Darkseid. And then they were going to get into, like, we'll say Batman Beyond territory, sort of. Aging up the characters and, maybe continuing from there on out, or I don't know. I don't know what would have happened. So the fact that they had a clear ending, maybe that's part of the reason why they gave Zack the yeet. But the studio didn't like some of the direction of the film. The dead Robin is kind of mentioned in this movie, but not as much as I thought they were going to do. I don't know if that's necessarily a spoiler. That's something that I was going to let you guys know about. Joker really twists the knife in one scene that I thought Batman was going to kill him, but, some stuff happens and it doesn't really go out that way. I kind of want Batman to kill him, though, because Joker's just... Jared Leto's good in the movie, though. A lot of people have been telling me, well, that's how he played it in the Suicide Squad. It's like, really? Because I saw a different Suicide Squad than you did. Because I don't remember that. I liked his performance in this. Maybe I just really didn't like how his visual, style was, and I'm not a big fan of All-Star Joker, and Jared Leto really borrowed a lot from All-Star Joker. His Joker this time around, it feels like a combination of, like, maybe the animated Joker and his own spin on it, so it works. Joker's not in the movie that long. I would have liked kind of like the Joker haunting Batman, but that's not what it's about, really. It's not the ghost of Christmas past and future type thing, like this, Spectre Joker, like, messing with him. Joker's very much alive in the Knightmare world, which you saw from the trailers and the teasers, and he's a part of Team Batman, or basically the Injustice world. Not a lot of the Knightmare world in this, because they were building up for more of a Knightmare world in Justice League Part 2. There are some elements from Justice League Part 2 in this, but not a lot. For the most part, it is fully an expanded 2017 Justice League film with substance, character growth, character spotlights, fantastic story that makes sense, and you just don't want it to end, and you want another 4-hour film. Like, you'll see this movie, and you'll just be like, all the stuff that's literally put before you, you want more of. That is the biggest thing that a lot of people are going to see this movie and walk away from. Even critics that don't like the movie, it's unfinished, in a sense. It has an ending, but it doesn't. It leads to more, and you want more. It's like going to Thanksgiving, and you have all this wonderful food in front of you, and then somebody takes the turkey away. So you get all the other food, but you don't get the turkey. That's... or the pumpkin pie. The turkey and the pumpkin pie are removed for next time. But you get all the other food. And the other food is great. But you know that you're not going to get full. Is the best way I could put that. Like, in my, crazy mind, because I'm exhausted. And I'm looking forward to watching it a second time and see if, I still feel that feeling again. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I really, it was great. Props to Zack, especially for hiding a lot of the spoilers from people. My spoiler video that I did was just like the icing on the cake. There's a lot of stuff that I could have brought up. I could have brought up some more stuff between Lex and Deathstroke, but I chose to just focus on what I talked about in the spoiler video. There were some people trying to be like, aha, I got you, that stuff wasn't in there. It's like, no, that stuff was in there. It wasn't in the story order that it happened in the movie, but the stuff I talked about very much did happen, so you're wrong. I was right. Just further my ego, why don't you? But yeah, I didn't really tell them in the correct order, but they do happen in the movie, how it works. But my spoiler video, I'm going to focus on the Lex stuff. Going to talk more about the cameo character, what they could have done with the cameo character, some of the other teases that they make for other DC heroes that are in this that aren't heroes at the moment. There was a lot of groundwork in this film. Like, Zack did a fantastic job of laying the foundation for more, which aren't in the DC cinematic universe right now. Unless these characters just randomly pop up in the Flash movie or something. But it's kind of two different worlds, because there's some characters that are dead in this movie that were alive in Whedon's film that I can't really say who they are, but it is like two parallel Earths now, because there's a lot of differences, but this Earth is better, and you want the other Earth to just go poof. Like, Thanos can snap that other Earth away, like, right now, because we want more of this Earth. So much more. But, yeah, I think I'm spent. If I go any more, I'm going to end up spoiling stuff. The Batman stuff is great. Alfred stuff is so much better in this. Like, Irons is fantastic as Alfred. You want more. You want more Affleck. You want more Ray Fisher. Somehow get Ray Fisher and find a way to make peace with, you know, the executives, because there's no way they're getting rid of the executive, because he's really good at his job. He helped greenlight the Snyder Cut. He made Aquaman possible with all the stuff he did for Aquaman and Shazam. He is behind the Wonder Woman 84 movie, which was meh, but a lot of the other things that he worked on after Jeff Johns and some other people left were, you know, mega hits. So that was good. But yeah, I really hope that Ray is able to work things out, and that Warner Brothers can do some stuff too. And never allow Joss Whedon in the DC Cinematic Universe to make a movie ever again, because he's lost his touch. That's what I'll say. I think they could get away with replacing Amber Heard, though, especially if they got the actress from the Game of Thrones, because her performance in this movie was terrible. She's just felt in a post-apocalyptic setting, for everything that's going on and everything that she lost, she didn't sell it to me. All the other characters brought their A game. Amber Heard was just like so misplaced in her stuff. Just no. She's better in the Aquaman movie. This movie, she's one of the low points in Snydercut. So she can be yeeted and replaced with somebody better. You got to bring in a better actress. You know, she has like the looks of Megan Fox and the brains, pretty much. So she's there for eye candy, not for acting skills. In all honesty, William Dafoe, great in this movie. His stuff that was originally cut is back, and it's great, and it furthers Arthur's story. So you're gonna want that. Anything else that I can talk about that's non-spoilery? I don't think so. The fight between Superman and the League is much better. It feels more intense and not super corny like what happened in 2017. Pretty much all the 2017 scenes are better, and they're expanded, and they make more sense now. Everything about the original movie was terrible, except for the Batman scene was okay, except for the comedian element to it. I liked it. Not the 2017 one. I'm not talking about that one. I've had people send me DMs where they've put knives and broke the disc of the original Justice League and told me that the only Justice League they're going to have in their house is the Snyder Cut. And that's very cute, but make sure you don't damage your rugs stabbing DVDs, because especially if you're renting, you're going to mess up your security deposit. Like, do it outside, or, you know, better yet, just throw it away, because you don't want to accidentally hurt yourself over a terrible movie like that. It's not worth it. Am I out of time? I'm out of time. I got another stream starting. All right, guys. Thank you so much. That's my review. Did I do pretty good? Did I keep it spoiler free, or did I mess up? I tried. I tried to be good. I have so much I want to say. I have so much I want to talk about, but I think I did okay. Maybe. I don't know. I'll leave that up to you guys. Spoiler alert. I'm looking forward to Batman looks cool in this movie. All his suits look great. I can't tell you. There's something I want to say. But there's some elements of BVS that comes back. So in the 2017 movie, they kind of ignored some of the stuff of the BVS movie, and it feels like this is connected to the BVS movie. You see things in the Batcave that were in the BVS movie, and there's scenes around that stuff. Like, the Batcave is in this movie instead of just whatever they were shooting, which was weird. You see more of the Batcave stuff, and you see things from BVS that Batman used that are broken, and it was like, whoa, he kept it. You know, there's things like that. It's everything works. Everything is connected. If you were to watch Man of Steel, BVS, and then this movie, all the missing pieces fit together as a puzzle, and it's continuous. It flows. I don't know if you would have time to watch Man of Steel, Ultimate Edition of BVS, and then the 4-hour Justice League cut. That would be a whole day. It'd be a whole day of awesome, but it would be worth it. But anyway, guys, I gotta run. I have another stream. I could talk about this movie for hours. Probably get into spoiler territory, though, but... Oh, I did. I said one thing. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm not very good at the whole spoiler-free thing. I'm sorry. I said one spoiler, sort of. I'm not going to go over it, but apologies. Hopefully I didn't ruin that stuff. But, yeah. All right, guys. I got to run. Thanks so much. If you want to hang out on my Zelda stream, it's starting up in a few minutes. I'm just going to have some corned beef and cabbage. Today's St. Patty's Day, and I wasn't expecting corned beef and cabbage. I thought we were having tacos, so I'm pretty happy about that. But, yeah, it's better than the 2017 movie. Is it better than Endgame? I don't know. As a DC fan, I'm obligated to say yes. I mean, it's a Lord of the Rings movie. If you can compare Lord of the Rings to if you can compare Lord of the Rings to the MCU and which you think is better, this movie is like a Lord of the Rings movie. It's as long as a Lord of the Rings movie. It has the progression of a Lord of the Rings movie with the characters stuff. It doesn't feel like an MCU film. It has its own fingerprint, its own identity. Very different than what's out in theaters. If anything, and this is true, apparently Jeff Johns and some other people, when the Snyder Cut was canceled, they shared the original vision of how Justice League was supposed to end with the MCU, and they used Tony Stark's death from Batman's death, and they just changed up some things. So when reporters are talking about the comparison between Darkseid and Thanos was modeled after Darkseid, in a sense, what his presence in the movie was going to be. Basically, a guy who comes, who wipes out, half of all life, and Thanos' reasons for wiping out all life is supposedly, to make sure people can live and the universe can survive, whereas Darkseid is just a tyrant that wants to kill everybody. Everybody in the universe. He just wants the anti-life equation. He wants to remodel the entire universe in his image. Over the course of the films, it would be expanded. But if they continue the Justice League universe, they're going to have to change elements of it. So, in all honesty, if anybody decides to continue this universe, it will become like Injustice now. Most of the stuff that Darkseid was going to be responsible for in Justice Leagues 2 and 3 and some of the spin-off films, that'll be too much like the MCU, because Thanos and Darkseid are very similar to how they're written now, but not how they were going to be. I could see, like, going forward that they do Injustice. Like, Superman would be the tyrant after losing Lois, which isn't in this movie. I'm just saying how they would probably go is they would do Injustice. Like, Superman would be responsible probably for killing Darkseid. He would be, like, the one Batman has to take down, and they would change the course of the film to match DC's other very popular franchise, which would be Injustice. It doesn't happen in this movie. I'm just saying, like, that's the only direction they can go, because most of the comparisons that they're making for this film by big MCU stands is it's essentially the end game where you have an alien come, wipe out all life on Earth. Some elements are responsible for changing things. You know where I'm going with this. So there's similar story beats to that, but Justice League and Zack Snyder were the ones who writ it first, and then there were leakers at DC who shared it with Kevin Feige. And that's how they came to the ending with Iron Man. That's why Iron Man died. He was supposed to be the Batman death. So they're very, very similar story beats to Zack's original script that he wrote from 2015 through 2017 before everything got axed. Because he had everything storyboarded back during BVS. So DC did it first, but their stuff was canceled. So then Marvel just expanded upon it and basically did the same thing. If the rumors are true that this person did leak stuff to Kevin Feige, which is not cool if you think about, but oh well, it is what it is. I gotta run, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Sorry for the one spoiler, but I think I did pretty good for a spoiler-free review. I think this was much better than I normally do. So later, guys, and if you want to hang out on Minish Cap, feel free to. I gotta run. Bye.